Have you ever felt that there is something in you that you can't even explain? A silent, deep, almost dark, but at the same time sacred force? And if I told you that this is no imagination, no coincidence, but a spiritual sign recorded at your birth? Scorpion is not just a zodiac sign. It is a divine seal, a hidden brand, a force that was delivered by God only to those who were chosen to stand it. While other signs walk down the surface of life, Scorpio dives into the depths of the soul. It carries with it a secret, mysterious, and transformative energy that no other sign has. An energy that attracts, scares, heals, and destroys everything that is not true. According to Edgar Cayce, the prophet of the invisible, the Scorpions were destined to keep a spiritual power linked to the transformation of humanity. They did not come to the world by chance. They were summoned. These are not common astrology. This is living prophecy, a veiled truth that Cayce revealed in his most enigmatic studies. Scorpio is the collective rebirth channel. But why would God give so much power to one sign? And why was this energy hidden from others? Get ready, because today you will understand what lives within you and why it was never the same as others. If you are Scorpion or feel that this message speaks to your soul, keep watching. What I will reveal below is not for everyone, just for those who feel. Comment now on, I carry this energy, if this has already started to awaken something inside. Because the true revelation, it starts now. If you are feeling this call pulse inside your chest, don't ignore it. This is not just a video, it's a confirmation, a spiritual memory that your soul already knew even before you are born. And now that this truth is beginning to reveal itself, it is essential that you actively participate in this moment. Comment down here, I accept my essence, or I carry this energy. Because when you write, you seal. When it declares, active, this space, here is not just a channel. It is a portal for those who recognize that they were born with something more. And if this message has moved you here, leave your like, right now. This shows the universe, and the algorithm, that this energy needs to reach more people who are awakening. Subscribe too. Each video here is a piece of a spiritual puzzle, and you are just at the beginning of this journey. Your presence, your comment, your engagement are part of the ritual. We are not talking to curious. We are talking to the marked ones, the chosen ones, and maybe you don't even understand everything now, but your soul knows. She recognizes, and that's why you're here. Short, comment, and subscribe, because the next revelation will expose the true hidden purpose of Scorpio, and why this energy, if misunderstood, can become a weapon against the bearer himself. Are you ready to follow? Crossing this spiritual door requires courage. Let's go together. Do you feel that you were born with something dark, but at the same time deeply sacred within you, as if carrying a secret that no one told you, but that you always knew? Something that cannot be explained with logic, but that pulsates in you since you understand by people? If this feeling has accompanied you even silently, then you need to stay here with me until the end, because this is not just intuition, it is spiritual memory. It's the echo of something that is coming up, and it can completely change the way you see who you are and why you came to the world. Scorpion was never a common sign. It is the only one that crosses the three forms of existence: the instinctive animal, the silent snake, and the eagle that sees everything. No other sign receives these three layers of spiritual consciousness. It already says a lot. No wonder those who are born under this vibration, or those who feel magnetically attracted to it, also carries an inexplicable intensity, often difficult to control. Scorpios feel too much. They perceive too much, suffer in silence. They love in almost painful depth, and when they get hurt, they transform pain into power. But this process does not happen at no cost. There is a weight to carry this kind of energy, and the world, which fears what it does not understand, ends up rejecting, criticizing, or even trying to put out this mysterious light that Scorpion carries in the chest. Only this light, it can't be turned off, because it doesn't come from the ego, comes from the soul, come from God. And it was given by a few because few have emotional, mental, and spiritual structure to support such depth. Maybe you grew up feeling out of place. Perhaps you have gone through losses, betrayals, forced restarts, existential crises. Perhaps it was labeled as too intense, difficult to deal, obsessed, cold, vengeful. But the truth that never told you is that this is part of the training of your soul. You came with a bigger mission, did not come to follow the common flow of humanity. You came to break patterns, to regenerate what is dead, to feel where the others anesthetize. And when I say that, I'm not referring to ready-made phrases of generic astrology. I am talking about a real spiritual mission, coded within you, that big names in mystical history, like Edgar Cayce, pointed out as part of the divine plan. Cayce, known as the sleeping prophet, said that those born under Scorpio were carriers of hidden power, linked to the collective rebirth of humanity. They would be the agents of the silent transformation, those who dive into the shadows to bring light, those who face the darkest parts of the human being to open healing portals, to themselves and to others. But how does this reveal in everyday life? In sensations that most ignore, but which Scorpion recognizes as signs. That sharp intuition that has already saved you from something no one has seen. That strange, almost premonitory dream that seemed to come with a ciphered message. Those coincidences too repeated to be chance. The words not said, but felt hard. The shiver when it enters a loaded place. The ability to see beyond the surface of people, and the discomfort it generates in them when they realize that you really see them. Scorpions do not need evidence to believe the invisible. They are the invisible manifesting. Therefore, it is not uncommon to see who has this strong sign on the map, carrying mediumistic gifts, energy perception, and a sensitivity that, when not understood, can be confused with imbalance. But that's where the great secret lies. This sensitivity is the key. It is not weakness. It is spiritual technology, a tool that God has delivered to a few and needs to be used consciously. But unfortunately, many Scorpions move away from this essence. They become skeptical, hard, closed, too injured to trust. And the more they deny their true nature, the more they suffer, because they are trying to live a life that was not made for them. Scorpion did not come to the surface, it came from the depths. And that's where your strength finds. There is no cure without pain. There is no light without darkness. And Scorpio is the bridge between the two worlds. So what you are watching now is not just a video, it's a memory. It is a callback to your truth. And even if you have tried to silence this for years, the energy that lives on you never left. It was only asleep, hoping that you would open your eyes. Not the eyes of the body, but the eyes of the soul. Because only those who have already crossed their darkness can guide others out of it. And maybe, without realizing it, you have already done it more often than you think. Perhaps you have already healed people with your presence only. It has already turned lives with only one conversation. He has already held pain that was not yours, but that the universe has entrusted to you because you knew. You can handle it. You are Scorpio, and Scorpio carries the impossible. And now that you are listening to it all, realize how your body responds. Notice the shiver, the emotion, the feeling of, this is about me, because it is. If you got here, it was no coincidence. This energy has found you because you are ready to recognize it, ready to remember, ready to activate everything that has always lived in you, but that the world has tried to silence. And if this is making sense to you, if you are playing parts that you may not even know you needed to be touched, then I want you to help me strengthen this spiritual current right now. Comment down here, I carry this energy if you feel this living force on you. Write, I accept my essence if you are ready to stop escaping your mission. Or just say, I'm Scorpio, if you want to seal this connection to your origin. Each comment, every word written here, becomes an energy seal, a spiritual confirmation before the universe that you are no longer sleeping, you are awakening. Oh, and don't forget, leave the like in this, video now. This shows that this message needs to go further, reach other Scorpions, or those who feel this energy, even without knowing why. And if you are not registered yet, subscribe now. Now, if at some point in this video you felt something inside you wake up, if the words played a pain that you might not even know you carried, then I want to make you a special invitation, a silent but deep invitation, because when the soul listens to something that recognizes, you cannot ignore. And if you felt that you were seen here today, so maybe this message is just the beginning of your true transformation. There is a way to understand this intensity, this invisible scar you carry, and so often made you feel different, isolated, or even lost. So I have prepared something that can be your next step, a revealing digital book, as 7 Fairy of the hidden spiritual of his zodiac sign, and how to heal them before 2026. This book shows truths that few have the courage to look. He exposes the fragile points that sabotage his relationships, his dreams, and even his faith. But more than revealing the wounds, he shows you how to heal them, how to recover your essence, your strength, and your way, before it is late. The link to download is in the first comment fixed. But beware, access is limited. This version will come down soon. If you are listening to this now, it is because maybe the universe brought you here for a greater reason. Don't let it pass. Go there, click, and start your release journey today. Who is born with this energy does not have an ordinary life. And you, if you are here, listening to each word, may have already felt it on the skin. Perhaps early on I faced pain no one understood, situations that seemed unfair, too heavy for someone so young. It may have been betrayed by those who trusted the most, rejected when I needed love the most, ignored when shouting silently for help. Scorpion energy, unlike other signs, does not come into the world to be protected. It comes to be forged. And this forge is made with pain, but not any pain, a sacred pain, a pain that carries purpose, a pain that arouses gifts. Scorpio is the sign of transmutation. Everything that plays transforms, everything that lives shapes. But to transmute the world, first you need to learn to transmute yourself, and that's where the journey begins. In the falls, in forced restarts, in the symbolic deaths that are repeated during their lifetime. Scorpios rarely have a linear trajectory. They live intense cycles of loss and rebirth. When they think they found stability, the floor disappears. When they believe they have found someone who understands their soul, they are injured. But this is not a curse. This is spiritual preparation. Because those who carry the gift of healing first need to learn to survive their own pain. Scorpion pain is not common because its mission is not common. There is an ancestral call that vibrates within this sign. Something that pushes them to live deep, sometimes lonely experiences that teach them about the invisible, what cannot be said, but only meaning. This is why Scorpio develops such refined sensitivity. He can feel the lie in the air, the heavy silence, the disguised look. That's why you trust the few, and sometimes no one. Because you have learned, hard, that trusting can hurt more than being alone. But this distrust, this closure, is not weakness. It is a form of protection. Scorpio keeps what is most valuable, his energy, your power to see beyond, your gift of touching people's soul without saying a word. Many cannot stand this intensity. Others envy her, and some try to destroy it because they cannot stand the very shadow they see reflected in the Scorpion gaze. But the true Scorpio is not destroyed. He is reborn, always. And each time it is reborn, it comes back stronger, wiser, quieter, because he learns over time that his strength is not what screams, but in what shuts up. It is not in direct confrontation, but in the enigmatic presence that has an effortless impact. Scorpio doesn't have to prove anything to anyone, because you know, because you feel, because it carries spiritual codes that were not made to be explained, but experienced. These trials you have lived and perhaps still living are not a mistake. They are a divine call, deep preparation for something bigger that is yet to come. And the hardest, often, is that no one sees, no one understands. The world does not recognize the invisible warrior you are, but the universe knows, God knows. And that's why, even in your most lonely moments, even when it seemed that everything had been taken from you, something inside was still lit, a spark, a fragment of fire that did not go out. This is your proof. The world can tear you everything but its essence, and it is this essence that keeps you up, even when you no longer have the strength to lift. Scorpion is not the type of energy that is content with the surface. So even though trying to adapt, even trying to be normal, something always pulled you back inside, to the silence, for the mystery, for introspection. And in this internal dive, you found the answers that no one has given you, found strength in pain, wisdom in the loss, love in the absence. He found himself. And if all this is resonating with you, it is because this pain was not in vain. Scorpion pain is spiritual training. Every tear you spilled taught you to see what is beyond the veil. Each disappointment has opened their eyes to what many are still blind. Each time you were knocked down, the universe was shaping you, not to survive, but to wake up. Because the true Scorpio, the one who embraces his shadow and honors his light, becomes an instrument divine, a bridge between worlds, a silent but powerful guide, a presence that transforms everything that touches. And this is the energy you carry. This is the gift that was entrusted to you. But to use it, you need to remember. You must accept. You have to stop running away from what you are. You are not here by chance. If this message has come to you, if these words seem to be telling your story without me knowing your name, it is because there is a spiritual intelligence operating right now. You are being remembered your mission. It is being activated. It is being called. Now, I want you to honor this pain that has shaped you. Let it recognize, in silence or in words, that you have survived things that no one has seen. May you gather when no one believed anymore, and even in pieces it was still able to be light for someone. This is being Scorpio. This is to carry the energy of death and the renaissance in each cell. This is being chosen, and if all this makes sense to you, then right now here in the comments, "My pain is sacred," or if you prefer, "I'm forged by pain." Also write, "I reborn in silence," if these words played something deep inside you. This is more than engagement. It is a ritual. It is the time to turn comment into affirmation, into a spiritual seal. And of course, if this message found you, leave your like. This is a sign that the video is on the right track to reach more people like you. And if you haven't done that yet, subscribe now, because in the next passage we will explore what happens when this pain is ignored, and the spiritual price of denying its own energy. Scorpion, the next revelation is for you. Don't waste more time living with this burden. Guarantee now your digital book, The 7 Hidden Spiritual Wounds of Your Zodiac Sign and How to Heal Them Before 2026, and find out how to apply these powerful teachings in your daily life. Attention, the stock is limited and is running out quickly. Click now and start your journey towards the trust you deserve. If you have gotten here, it is because something inside you know that this journey is not common. You are not listening to this by chance. Scorpion was not made to live a common life, let alone carry a common energy. There is an old secret kept by Eros which only now begins to reveal itself. And this secret was said with surprising clarity by none other than Edgar Cayce, the man known as the Sleeping Prophet. In his deep trance states, Cayce accessed information of spiritual dimensions, soul records, and truths that most human eyes never saw. And when he talked about Scorpio, his words were loaded with reverence, fear, and admiration. Because according to Cayce, Scorpio is the sign chosen to carry the energy of the regeneration of the worlds. This is not just a personal rebirth. Cayce saw Scorpio as a cosmic restart point, a sign that not only transforms himself, but who carries in his spiritual field the ability to reconfigure realities, transmute environments, heal family legacies, free souls imprisoned by ancient standards. This energy was not delivered at random. She was entrusted because it is too intense, too powerful, too dangerous to be delivered to anyone. And that is why, among all signs, only Scorpio received this gift. This energy is not something you learn. It is something that is born with you. It is between your eyes, the firmness of your intuition, in the way you feel what others hide. It manifests itself when you enter an environment and the climate changes, when you speak a truth that no one has the courage to say, when your presence triggers healing that you don't even understand. Scorpion is, for essence, a spiritual catalyst, and this role comes with responsibility, but also with blessings that few have emotional structure to support. Scorpios have the natural ability to break cycles, to see what is hidden, to look at the shadow without turning away from the face. This is not weakness. This is gross spiritual power, shaped through many existences. Because the soul of Scorpio is not young, it is old. It carries memories that the body does not understand, but manifest in the form of presence, dreams, goosebumps, silences that speak, and every time life forces him to die inside, something greater awakens. The gift of rebuilding even stronger and rebuilding everything around. Cayce said that this energy is fully activated only when Scorpio accepts his mission. While resisting, suffers. While refusing, fragments. Because denying this strength is like trying to contain a volcano with your hands. It doesn't work. Scorpion energy is not passive. She asks for movement, asks for depth, asks for delivery, and above all, you ask for awareness. Because when this power is wasted, distorted, or used unconsciously, damage can be deep, tan to those who carry the energy as for those around them. Therefore, so many people are afraid of Scorpion. They don't know how to explain, but they feel, and it's okay. Fear is the unconscious response to what is unknown, to what is mysterious, to which it carries a high spiritual frequency, but because it is not visible, it scares. Only you, who were born under this sign, did not come to be. Understood. You came to wake up and awaken other souls. You have come to shake the structures, to break standards, to break what is false and lift what is true. And if you feel that your life has been made of death cycles and rebirth, you realize that your presence has a magnetic effect on people if you carry a truth within you that no one has taught you. But it is simply, then know, this energy is active in you, maybe silent, perhaps dormant, but she's there, and now it begins to throb. Harder, because something inside you is being called, and this call does not come from outside, come from within. It comes from the deepest part of your soul, which knows that it is time to remember who you are. But with this call, there is also responsibility. Cayce warned that the Scorpions who deny or abuse this energy suffer serious spiritual consequences, not for punishment, but by imbalance, because this energy was given with a purpose. It is like a divine instrument. When well used, it heals, transforms, illuminates. But when used with anger, fear, or revenge, it hurts, manipulates, and turns against those who carry it. Scorpion cannot hide from himself. The more you try to fit into common patterns, the more you disconnect from your axis. And the universe, which does not waste energy, begins to take everything out of its frequency. Relationships, jobs, places. It is not unlucky. It is spiritual realignment. This is the energy that Cayce said that few would bear to carry. And the energy linked to the earth cycles, the alchemy of the soul, the reconfiguration of the invisible. You are not here to please. You are here to impact. Your energy can be uncomfortable for those who live on the surface, but for those who have already started awakening, you are headlight. It is a sign. It is healing. It is mirror. And if these words seem to have been written straight to you, then now it's time for you to leave your brand here. I want to invite you to write in the comments, I carry the energy of regeneration, or if you feel you are ready to activate this more consciously, write, I'm ready to remember who I am. If you felt the call during this video, also comment, the gift was entrusted to me. These phrases, placed with intention, are not just words. They are spiritual statements. They are vibrational seals that signal to the universe, I'm awake, I'm present, I'm ready. And of course, if this message touched you, if she seems to have narrated her own life story, leave the like right now. This helps this content to reach other people who also carry this energy, but haven't found the right mirror yet. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, you subscribe now. Because in the next part of this journey, we will deepen what happens when this energy is not understood, and the spiritual way to turn it into a living mission. Don't waste more time living with this burden. Guarantee now your digital book, The 7 Hidden Spiritual Wounds of Your Zodiac. Sign and how to heal them before 2026, and find out how to apply these powerful teachings in your daily life. Attention, the stock is limited and is running out quickly. Click now and start your journey towards the trust you deserve. You may have already wondered why you feel things that no one else feels, why your body creeps even without wind, no cold, without apparent reason. Why do you dream of things that look like messages, fragments of something bigger, as if you were receiving instructions from another dimension? Or why, even without anyone told you, you just know? You know when someone is lying. You know when something will go wrong. You know when a person is suffering, even if they are smiling. This is no chance. This is not imagination. This is the spiritual energy of Scorpio manifesting itself in you. This energy is not obviously revealed. She doesn't shout. She whispers, appears in the details, between the lines of reality, and only those who have a look trained by the silence of the soul can see. Scorpion carries the gift of subtle perception, so don't be surprised if you have already entered an environment and felt the heavy air even before you know what happened there. Or if you already met someone, and in the first second something inside you said, "Be careful," and later he found it right. You are not paranoid. You are sensitive. You are connected with a frequency that most do not access. Some people spend their entire lives asking for signs, but you are the radar itself. The universe speaks to you all the time, through symbols, patterns, sensations. How many times have you seen the same numbers repeating yourself? 1111, 22, 22, 03, 33, as if something or someone was trying to tell you, "Wake up, it's time." How many times have you looked at the sky, to the full moon, to a lonely bird, and felt an emotion that could not explain? How many times has your body reacted before your mind understands? You may not have told that to anyone. Perhaps you are afraid of looking strange, not being taken seriously, but listen to it carefully. You're not crazy. You are awake. And the more your spiritual consciousness expands, the more you realize that you are not alone, that there is an invisible network of signals trying to guide you, trying to remind you of the energy that lives on you. Dreaming of death, for example, scares a lot of people. But for Scorpio, this is a sign of renaissance. Symbolic death is part of your cycle. Scorpions dream of the end of cycles with transformations deep water, with mysterious beings, because they are connected with the mysteries of the soul. These dreams are not common because their mission is not common. They are portals. Portals that show that you are in transition, mutation, awakening. Another recurring manifestation of this energy is personal magnetism. You may have already noticed how some people feel attracted to you without explanation, as if they wanted to be close, even without knowing why, or as some are bothered by their presence even for no reason. This is because your energy acts what is hidden in others. You are like a spiritual mirror, a mirror that does not reflect the face, reflects the truth, and not everyone is prepared to see. You may also have noticed an inexplicable connection with the hidden, with the invisible, with the sacred, a spontaneous interest in mystical, spiritual, deep themes. Scorpion is not content with the surface, always seeks the root, the origin, the essence. Therefore, he feels affinity with ancient mysteries, forgotten teachings, with words that seem to light something in his chest. And this is not a fad. This is spiritual memory. It is your soul recognizing the way. If you have had premonitions, intense déjà vu, or felt that something bad was about to happen, and it happened, you are connected. If you've dreamed of someone you haven't seen for years, and this person has reappeared, you're tuned. If you have already felt an invisible presence protecting you from something, pulling you from a situation, warning you in the last second, this is no luck. This is a spiritual covenant. These are the signs that confirm the energy you carry, and this energy need not be understood by everyone. She just needs to be honored by those who have it. That's why you feel, realize, live differently. It is no use trying to fit into a common logic. You didn't come to be the same. You came to be bridge between the visible and the invisible, between the rational and the spiritual, between the world that exists and the world that is awakening. From now on, start to realize more carefully. The messages are everywhere, in words that are repeated, in songs that come at the right time, in dreams that insist on returning, people who cross their way with a purpose that you still do not understand. Scorpio is governed by Pluto, the planet of transformation, the mysteries of what is buried, and everything that is governed by Pluto does not appear at once, gradually reveals itself. It is being excavated. It is being remembered. And right now, you are remembering. You are accessing. You are reactivating your spiritual sensitivity. Do not deny the signs. They are your compass. Do not silence what you feel. This is your language with the universe. And if throughout your life you have lived something like this, an inexplicable chill, a prophetic dream, an instant perception of someone, a sight, a strong intuition, a deep connection with something or someone you just knew, know, you carry this energy. Now I want you to share with me and everyone here on this journey something very special. Write in the comments, I see the signs. If you have already felt something like this, also comment, I carry this energy. And if you want to seal this moment, write, my soul remembers. These phrases are not just words thrown on a screen. They are vibrational statements that anchor their spiritual presence at this time. Leave your like right now if all this resonated with you. This helps keep this content alive, expanding to others looking for the same awakening. And if you haven't signed up yet, do it now. Don't waste more time living with this burden. Guarantee now your digital book, The 7 Hidden Spiritual Wounds of Your Zodiac Sign and How to Heal Them Before 2026, and find out how to apply these powerful teachings in your daily life. Attention, the stock is limited and is running out. Quickly, click AG now and start your journey towards the trust you deserve. But not everyone who carries this energy knows what to do with it. And here begins a delicate but essential part of this spiritual journey. Because the same force that can heal, transform, and regenerate when misunderstood or denied can become a weight, a prison, a silent curse. Scorpio, more than any other sign, carries in itself the shadow and light as twin sisters, and it all depends on how you choose to live. This energy, when Scorpio is aligned with its spiritual essence, it is a channel of inner strength, high intuition, deep clarity, and positive impact around. But when you misalign it, when you deny your nature, when you move away from what you feel, it turns into a spiritual trap for yourself. Scorpio energy is intense, visceral, sacred, and therefore cannot be drowned out without consequences. When someone in Scorpion tries to adapt to a shallow life model, pretending that he does not feel what he feels, he doesn't see what he sees, he doesn't know what he knows, something inside begins to get sick. It is as if the soul shouted, but the body tried to silence. And the more it denies, the more it is disconnected, more moves away from who it really is. And then, what was supposed to be a blessing becomes weight. What was supposed to be mission becomes frustration. Because the Scorpion energy does not accept to be ignored. She charges, she squeezes, she implodes inside. Many Scorpions live this self-abandoning process without even realizing it. And that's where resentment is born. The grudge, the silent hurt, that feeling that the world is unfair, that no one understands it, that it will always be injured to trust, that it needs to be always on alert, always with the high guard. But all this comes from a much deeper wound, that of not allowing yourself to be who you are. And the result of this is dangerous, because Scorpion poorly channeled energy becomes self-sabotage, emotional destruction, toxic isolation. It is at this point that the impulses of revenge, control, manipulation arise. Not because Scorpion is bad, but because it is injured, because by denying one's own power, it tries to compensate for the other's control. When feeling invisible, he tries to make himself notice. Upon being heard, tries to scream through attitudes, and that creates a cycle of pain, where Scorpio becomes his own enemy. It is not the world that is against him, it is he who put himself in the back of his own essence, who hides from their own energy, goes out in the eyes of the universe. And when this happens, the way's close, the signs are lost, spiritual protection weakens, and the soul begins to shut up. The great trap here is silence, not the sacred silence of introspection and wisdom, but the suffocated silence of emotional repression. Scorpion feels everything very intensely, but was often taught not to demonstrate, not to trust, not to expose his vulnerability. And then what should be a force becomes breastplate. And behind this armor is accumulated pain, anger, guilt, desire for reparation, thirst for justice. But justice that comes from anger never heals, just prolong the pain. This is why, spiritually, Scorpio needs to be in constant self-observation, not to condemn yourself, but to realize yourself, to remember that your pain has a purpose, but it cannot be a permanent shield. To understand that feeling deeply is a gift, but repressing these feelings is a poison, and this poison does not reach others. It erodes inside. He cuts ties with spirituality, guides, signs, with mission, because there is no way to channel divine force if the channel is clogged with unique hurt. If you are Scorpion, or if you carry this energy on your map, or even if you recognize yourself in the words I am saying, it is essential to understand that the universe does not force anyone to anything, but it also does not deliver great missions to those who insist on running away from them. You can keep ignoring what you feel, pretending you don't see, trying to look normal, but know that your soul was not made for normality. It was designed for depth, for transmutation, for the raw, real, intense truth. And if you don't honor her, she saddens herself. And when the soul of a Scorpion is saddened, the whole universe around feels. The paths start to get heavy. Relationships become challenging. Emotions oscillate. Health can start responding with symptoms that doctors do not explain. Intuition weakens. The signs become confused. All this is the reflection of spiritual misalignment. It is as if the universe said, "You are forgetting who it is." But it's never too late to go back. It's never too late to remember. The Scorpion energy is not lost. She just falls asleep. And when you really decide to awaken, it all starts to reorganize. But for that, it takes courage. Courage to look in the mirror and say, "I am not what they expect from me. I am what I am." And this simple decision changes everything. It begins to dissolve the hurts, to release resentment, to clean the spiritual field. If while you heard that, something inside you tightened, brought you memories, made you review moments, or even thrilled you in silence, so it's already happening. The reactivation began. The energy that was dormant is responding. And if it has touched you somehow, I want you now to write here in the comments, with all your truth, "I'm ready to reconnect," or "I choose to get out of the prison of my own energy." If you feel it is time to stop running away from yourself, write too, "My soul wants to go back." These phrases are not just words. They are portals, and each can be the first step of your return. Don't waste more time living with this burden. Guarantee now your digital book, The 7 Hidden Spiritual Wounds of Your Zodiac Sign, and How to Heal Them Before 2026, and find out how to apply these powerful teachings in your daily life. Attention! The stock is limited and is running out quickly. Click now and start your journey towards the trust you deserve. And when Scorpio finally decides to reconnect, something absolutely great begins to happen. The darkness that was previously feared is understood as a portal. The pain that was once a weight is recognized as a tool. The depth that so much drifted away from others begins to be the connecting channel with souls who were also lost. Because Scorpio, when awake and aligned with its original energy, is no longer just a sign. It becomes a spiritual symbol in living flesh, a presence that carries mystery but offers healing, a soul that crossed hell itself and returned wisely to surrender to the world. You who feel this vibrate within you need to understand that you are not here to just survive. You came to transcend. Scorpio is the purest representation of the Phoenix cycle. But contrary to the story that many tell, it's not just about rebirth of the ashes. It is about accepting that before the Renaissance there is destruction, there is the collapse, there is emptiness. Scorpions know this because they live this over and over. When everything seems to crumble, when nothing but silence and darkness remains, that's where something begins to pulse. There, the silent power of the soul begins to reorganize. Because Scorpion does not rebuild with old pieces. He reconstructs himself from scratch. It redoes itself in another form, on another level, in another state of consciousness. And that is exactly why the presence of an awake Scorpion never goes unnoticed. There is a different magnetism, a look that penetrates but does not judge, an energy that attracts, but also tests, because Scorpio is not easily offered. He observes, feels, analyzes. But when you trust, you deliver something that few know how to receive, the truth. And this truth can heal, can transform. You can break walls that no one else had the courage to play. Scorpion carries the gift of silent healing. Healing that does not come from speech but from vibration. Healing that happens in the invisible field, in the presence, listening, touch. This is also why Scorpio's sexuality goes beyond the physical. It's not just desire, it's not just pleasure. It is a sacred sexuality, loaded with intention, spiritual connection, energy fusion. It is a portal, a ritual, one way to meet each other in a way that goes beyond the meet. And because it is so deep, this gift is often misunderstood or poorly used. But when a Scorpio wakes up, he understands. His body is temple, his touch is a message, his presence is medicine. And the most impressive is that even after all that lived, even after being tested, betrayed, discredited, wounded, the awakening Scorpion does not become bitter. He becomes wise. He learns to use pain as a bridge, learn to use silence as power, learn to walk in the middle of the storm without losing balance. because he doesn't need the world to be light to find lightness. He already carries it inside. It has already been shaped by fire, water, shadow. And when this alchemy happens, the curator is born, the counselor, the visionary, the true spiritual guardian. You may not be fully aware of it yet, but if you are Scorpion or have this strong energy on your map, there is a code that belongs to collective cure in you. A code that, when activated, turns you into a liberation channel for others that are still stuck in the pains you have already faced. This is why often people approach you and open themselves without even understanding why. That's why you attract broken, confused, injured souls, not to save them, but because your energy says, "I've been there, I know how to get out." But there is a spiritual requirement for this code to be fully activated. You need to survive yourself. You need to cross your own ruins. You need to face your deepest fears. You need to touch your wounds without identifying with them. You need to forgive yourself for carrying pains that were not your own. You need to understand that what makes you powerful is not the absence of fall, but the ability to get up with even more love, even more true, even more presence. And maybe you are living exactly this point now, the point where everything seems uncertain, where the world seems to crumble, where no one understands you, where even your faith seems to falter. But if you have come here, if you are listening to each word as if they were parts of your own story, it is because something is awakening within you. And this awakening is the beginning of your phoenix. No matter how many times you fell, what matters is that you came back, and it's coming back more conscious, more whole, more prepared. And from here, things start to change. People who once hurt you begin to move away. The situations that previously pulled you down begin to dissolve. The shallow connections no longer interest you, because you are remembering, you are honoring yourself. You are coming home, the house of your soul. If all this made sense to you, if these words seem to translate what you could never put aloud, then write in the comments, "I am the Phoenix." If you feel you carry the cure code, write, "My touch is medicine." And if you know you're ready to cross this last layer of pain and enter your mission, write with the intention, "I survived myself." Each comment, every word written here is more than engagement. It is a ritual, a seal, an activation. Leave. You're like right now if you felt this energy cross you. This helps this content to reach more people who, like you, are awakening. If you got here, it was no coincidence. By this time, your body has responded in some way, whether with goosebumps, a knot in the throat, teary eyes, or that strange and deep feeling that someone is finally speaking their spiritual tongue. And it doesn't matter if you're watching it in silence, in the middle of the dawn, or any day. The truth is that when the soul listens to what it needed to hear, time disappears and only the truth remains. You are not listening to this video with only your ears. You are listening to the memory of the spirit, with what has lived in you since before your birth, since even before your pain, your losses, your falls. There is a part of you that you always knew, that always waited for that moment, who always knew that this Scorpion energy is not a burden, it is a sacred call. And now that everything has been said, now that you have crossed every part of this journey with me, you need to seal, not just with loose words, but with presence, with intention, with decision, because it is not enough just to know. It is necessary to assume. It is necessary to support this consciousness. You need to honor the energy you carry, and you carry, because if it didn't carry, this video would never have found you. The universe does not waste time with those who are not ready, and if you're here, it's because you're. Now, take a deep breath. Feel what is throbbing inside. Remember everything you've been through. How many times it fell and got up. How many times did he think he was alone, but he survived anyway? How many times did you feel that no one understood you, but still kept feeling? This is your soul shouting, "I'm here. I never left." And maybe, only maybe, this video was the push you needed to go back to you. Its essence did not disappear. She just silent, waiting for the right time to return. And that moment is now. Life will no longer allow you to pretend you don't feel, you don't see, you don't know. The time of numbness has passed. Now it's time to activate, to position itself energetically, to declare to the universe, "Yes, I remember who I am. Yes, I accept what I carry." And at this point on the way, the only thing left is the ritual, but not an external ritual full of elements. I'm talking about an internal, vibrational ritual, A ritual that begins with your decision, a sentence, one word, a choice. So now, right write in the comments with the strength of your soul, I accept my essence, not by ego, not to be seen, but because you need to hear yourself by saying that. You need to register in the field. You need to sign your return. If these words touched you, if you felt this energy running through your body, if any part of this video reminded you of who you are, then comment, I carry this energy, because you carry. And the more it declares, the more active, the more manifest. And the more manifest, the more people around them also awaken. This is spiritual domino effect. This is how the mission spreads. This is how healing begins. Enjoy this video now as a seal of spiritual activation, not as an automatic gesture, but as a symbol, as a yes in your way, like a I recognize myself, silent but powerful. And if you are not already subscribed to this channel, you subscribe now, because here it is not just a video space, it is a portal, a sequence of activations, memories of truths that were dormant, and each new video is another step in this return home. In the next episode, let's dive into another deep mystery. Let us reveal the heavenly gift that only fish has received, a gift that connects the worlds, which dissolves boundaries between dimensions, which transforms pain into compassion and tears into divine language. If you know someone from fish, or feel that this sign pulsates strong in your map or your life, you already prepare yourself. What's to come will touch you in a way that you may not even be able to explain. Because like Scorpio, fish is not about explanation, it is about vibration. If you stayed here until the end of this deep journey, it is because something inside you felt, and you felt, it's because it's part. Now I want to ask you, with an open heart, subscribe to the channel right now. This is not any content. It is a sequence of spiritual activations, and the next step of your journey is already on its way. Each video here was created to remind you of what the world tried to make you forget. And if you got here, write in the comments now, I woke up with this video. This phrase will show me who really felt the message to the end and is ready to walk deeper into this spiritual awakening. And of course, leave your like, not out of obligation, but as a sign to the universe that you are ready to assume your essence. Your like is more than a gesture, it's a vibration. It helps this message reach other people who, like you, are awakening. And to continue in this flow, watch now the next video that is appearing here on the left side of your screen. It is the natural continuation of what you lived here. It will further expand this energy. Don't stop here, as because your soul still has a lot to remember. I find you in the next video.